While working on your engine, make sure the carburetor, exhaust port, carburetor inlet are all covered. Also, make sure the glow plug is in place. This will prevent dirt from getting inside. Tear off a small piece of heavyweight paper. I like to use header card paper for this. Fold it like an accordion. We'll be using this as a temporary shim later on. I will start off by removing the old shoes first. I use a small blade screwdriver to pry away one of the clutch shoes away from the clutch nut. Then I insert the temporary paper shim in between. This will hold the clutch shoe away from the clutch nut while removing the first shoe. I insert the tool underneath and then rotate it counterclockwise, prying the spring away from the clutch nut. Now the trick to removing this easily is after you insert the tool and rotate it so that the spring is off the clutch nut, you then squeeze down onto the clutch shoe and pull straight out. Before removing the last shoe, you must remove the paper shim. This method is the best way to remove the springs and shoes without damaging them. For 8-scale off-road buggies, I like to use 2 light springs and 1 heavy spring for a smooth engagement. If there's a lot of traction or if you're running a truggy, you may want to use all heavy springs. I also check to make sure that the clutch shoes float freely on the pins before installing them. When using aluminum shoes, you must place a shim between the clutch shoe and flywheel. Aluminum shoes have a tendency to mushroom and hang on the flywheel. When installing the shoes, place the spring in the shoe. Keep the eyelet of the spring in line with the hole of the clutch shoe while placing it on the flywheel pin. Then use the clutch tool to go under the shoe, rotate counterclockwise to pull the spring, and then push. You shouldn't have to use a lot of force to push it on. Sometimes you have to squeeze the clutch shoe a little bit to get it to line up with the pin. Watch again as I rotate the tool under the clutch shoe. Notice that I squeeze down on the shoe as I push. The trick to getting our last shoe on is using our temporary paper shim again, placing it between the clutch shoe and the clutch nut. This will leave the room we'll need to get that last shoe onto the last pin. Align the eyelet of the spring with the hole of the shoe and then place onto the flywheel pin. Rotate the tool, squeeze and push. And the final step is removing our temporary paper shim. I hope this video tip was helpful, and thank you for visiting NitroHouse.